Well, the national headquarters of a sorority at St. Lawrence University has removed a man admitted into the Canton, New York chapter. The student alleges that it was an act of discrimination on the part of the Chi Omega headquarters office. The student, Fabian Guzman, had his membership revoked by the Chi Omega national office at the beginning of the month with no option to appeal the decision. Finally, some backbone. This person, who claims to be non-binary, was a member of the chapter beforehand, so the reversal came as a shock. Does this even look like this person is trying to be trans? Joining me with details of the story is campus reform correspondent Emily Fowler. Emily, this looks like a guy who's not even trying to disguise his attempts to get inside the sorority and have himself surrounded with sorority girls. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Thank you for being here. What say you?
I would agree 100%, and I would also agree with Chi Omega that they made the right call, thankfully, regarding the situation, because this is a young man who has decided to just come to the sorority chapter and to be admitted as a sorority member. And like you said, it doesn't even look like he's trying. He doesn't even look trans. He actually identifies as non-binary, I believe, and he thinks that that is enough to make him able to just join the sorority. And, you know, it's really infuriating for me as a woman that we're even having this conversation, because it proves that so many people think that womanhood is just a badge or a costume that men can put on whenever they want to. And that is not the case at all. Womanhood is a beautiful gift from God, that it is ordained from conception. It's just infuriating to me, and I can't even believe that we're having this conversation.
I can't either. I mean, it's a guy in a dress. I'm just going to call it for what it is. It's a guy in a dress, right? And he wants access, and now he's screaming discrimination. And look, I don't care if he's taking hormone blockers. I don't care about it. Look, the sorority is a private organization, right? They don't have to put up with this, my understanding. And why would they? Look, it's a female-only organization. And I would say that the most basic of review would show quite clearly this is a guy. Again, I don't know why we're having the conversation either, Emily. I mean, nothing says womanhood quite like, hairy knuckles like that, I suppose. But you tell me.
Exactly. And this isn't just about the facts of the case. Yes, does it seem ridiculous? Absolutely. But the most important thing is that this is unsafe for women. These universities should be standing up for women and saying this is not okay for you to have to live with a biological male in a sorority. Let's keep women's spaces for women. Women should be able to come to college and thrive and feel comfortable. But this isn't the case. And thankfully, Chi Omega made the right call. But there are other universities, such as the University of Wyoming. They have a Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter. And their sorority members are actually suing because the sorority, let a man come and live with them. And 7 of these girls feel unsafe on a daily basis and have been saying, hey, this guy is obviously sexually attracted to us just from the way he looks at us while, we're trying to go about our daily lives. And this is making us feel uncomfortable and unsafe. And so I'm thrilled that Chi Omega made this decision. And I think that universities all over the U.S. should follow in their footsteps.
Emily, bear with me here. I'm going to be a little graphic, all right? Just bear with me because I'm going to ask you a couple of important questions because I'm going to talk about the sorority in Wyoming. The trans individual at that sorority in Wyoming, according to those women who have filed the lawsuit, stands there looking at them with a full erection that's obvious protruding through his clothing. How many women do you know that get full erections? I mean, let's just get right to it. Here he is, fully erect. And I mean, of course these girls are creeped out. Of course they're disgusted. It's a guy being permitted to sit there and be completely inappropriate around women who wanted to be around women. If they wanted to be around guys, they'd be in a co-ed dorm. It's not what they're paying for. It's not what they want. It's not what they expect. And last time I checked, full erection for a woman was still not possible. Am I wrong?
No. You are not wrong at all. And I think that is what people need to understand, is that no matter what you want to call yourself, it does not change the reality of the situation. And women all over the U.S. are being compromised. Here at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we've been covering this trend across the nation. And it's not only at the Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter at the University of Wyoming. Women are continually either having to silence themselves in order to not get in trouble or not stand up for their safety. There's another incident at the University of Cincinnati where a professor gave a female student a 0 just for using the term biological woman on an assignment. I mean, this is crazy. I can't believe that we are to the point where we can't even, as women, we can't even acknowledge womanhood as something that is existent and something that is factual and something that is reality. We're not even able to define it, even though it's what we are. And we're not only compromising our safety, but it's erasing, like I said earlier, what womanhood is and the beautiful impact that it has on society. And it's extremely disrespectful to us.
And here's the thing, shifting gears a little bit. Look, biological dimorphism is first grade science. Simply put, male and female have differences. A male and female duck, they look different. Dogs, cats, birds, bats, it doesn't matter. There are biological differences. Biological dimorphism is first grade science. And the fact that we're denying this on any level, to deny women their place that they've paid for to feel secure because they don't want to be around men in their home for whatever reason, it's their right. And at the same time, we're erasing women. We're destroying Title IX. We're destroying the ability for women to compete equally on the field of play and in sports. And frankly, it's got to stop, Emily, because it's gone entirely too far. I have 2 daughters. It incenses me that we have to have such an inane conversation with these people who think, well, you're a bigot if you don't allow this man to run track or to swim in the swimming pool against, those competing at the... No, I'm not a bigot. I'm a guy who believes in fair play, and women deserve their own space. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think the solution is simple. Women deserve their own spaces. And, there are people out there that say, oh, what do you do with trans students? Well, I think it's very simple. You have women's spaces for women, and you have male spaces for men. And lots of universities these days, unfortunately, but it's true, offer co-ed housing that's, you can go there regardless of what your sexual identity, if we want to put it that way, is. So there are spaces for these people. It's not that they don't have anywhere to go. So let's keep women in their space, trans people in the spaces provided for them, and men in their spaces. And I think that is a very clear solution, and I think that all universities should adopt that.
Very simple, isn't it? Doesn't take somebody in college to figure out the basics. Emily, I appreciate you being here. It's a topic that's going to fill up my emails. I get it. I'm going to catch hell from some people that are just unenlightened, and that's okay. Thank you for telling the truth. It's important.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Have you back anytime. Coming up after the break, another Democrat has defected and joined the Republican Party. And based on what you just heard, why the hell wouldn't you? Georgia State Representative Misha Maynor was found guilty of having a mind of her own. That's not to be tolerated on the left. That story and so much more coming up on America's Voice Live.